Back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. We're live here Halloween, Friday, October 31st. And it's a very funny and maybe spooky what just happened with three returning champions. Tara Dublin from the scariest place in America, Portland, which is on fire. She's here, writer, political commentator. Any moment she could be taken away by Antifa or join Antifa. You never know with her. And she's author of The Sound of Settling, a rock and roll love story, and is a Substack that you have to subscribe to, which I do, because she tells the truth in it. Nice to see you, Tara.
Thank you. It's always good to be back with you, Dean.
And then in New York, where everything is calm, unless your name is Zoran Mondani, my buddy Scott Blakeman's back, countless TV appearances. We created Stand Up for Peace together. Also, he has, do you still have a podcast?
Yes, Getting Through This with Tom and Scott.
Getting Through with Tom and Scott. That title always works well. And one of the top little comics working around today. Hello, Scott. Nice to see you.
Great to see you, Dean. Great to be back.
And for the block, it's Wali Collins in the lower block here. My good friend, stand-up comic, actor, producer. He has Wait, What with Wali on YouTube and a bunch of other stuff, which we'll go into later, I assume. Wali, nice to see you.
Why am I always last when you introduce your panel?
Because I do it. I really don't have any. I always, if there's a female comic, I go first, and from there, it's just whoever catches my eye. Sorry.
Saving the best for last.
That's right. You're the headliner. So look, we will.
Good. Oh, that's cool.
You like that? There we go.
That's good.
I didn't even think. Are you from now on, Wali? Whenever you come on, you're first. Let's begin before I even give the title of the show.
Yeah, right.
Collins. So look, government shutdown, day 30. It's going to affect some people soon. It's affecting some already who are federal workers, but like life goes on for most people and they don't even know what's going on. I don't know what it's going to take for people to go like, this is really bad. You guys got to, it's Republicans not want to make a deal with Democrats. I know the polling shows more people blame Republicans, but some blame Democrats as well. Because after a while you're like, okay, you're both in on this. I get it. So Tara, what's your take? Do people, you're in Portland. Is there any sense of a government shutdown? Do people feel it yet?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And people are here most worried about losing SNAP benefits and their healthcare premiums tripling, which is what everybody in America should be concerned about. Because if you're someone who's not on SNAP, you're hopefully someone who at least has healthcare. And you're not going to want to see your premiums triple. Now, here in Oregon, 757,000 people are at risk of losing SNAP benefits. I know from speaking with the Democratic delegation in Oregon that they have attempted to speak with Democratic colleagues in the House, with the Republican colleagues in the House, and the Republicans just will not speak with them. They will not meet with them behind closed doors. They will not meet on or off the record. They are determined to starve Americans to make Trump happy. And I don't understand doing that. So it's again, we have to just keep reiterating every time we see any Republican blaming the Democrats for this shutdown. Democrats are not going to sell out their constituents. They're not going to obliterate their health care. Democrats are not going to do that, and Republicans know it. Republicans are using that as the reason. Mm-hmm. But the reason is that they're covering up the Epstein files, and it all comes back to the Epstein files. And if Donald Trump wasn't in the Epstein files, then Mike Johnson could swear in Adelita Grijalva, and we could all get on with our lives. But instead, MAGA people in red states are going to get hurt the most, as they always are by Republicans. And I take no pleasure in that, but that's where we are. And so what we do here is tell the truth. And the truth is, this is all the Republicans' fault.
I like that. And I also, it's interesting you said Republicans will not meet with Democrats here or there. And it reminded me of Dr. Seuss. I thought you were going to be like, not on a boat, not with a goat.
Nope, not with a goat.
Green eggs and ham.
Not in the East Wing, not for anything.
Oh, you can't meet the East Wing right anymore. Wali,
right, exactly.
Look, I want to go to you second this time because you feel slighted because you're needier than even me, apparently. So what's going on, Wali? What's your take? Government is shut down. Have you been flying for gigs? Have you been affected yet? I don't know how often you're flying for gigs, but I know there's been more and more delays because air traffic controllers are some are calling in sick because they're working ridiculous hours and not getting paid and all that kind of stuff. But have you felt it anywhere or heard people talk about it yet?
Well, I fly tomorrow, actually. I fly down to Miami tomorrow.
That was just canceled. Sorry, I just got this. Your flight was canceled. Air traffic control all called in sick. Sorry.
You should just leave now. Leave now.
Right. Start walking. It's interesting. I've been checking out this this reporter or this interesting, what are we gonna say, influencer, Desiree Townsend. Mm-hmm. She's pretty cool because she was saying the banks. They're not talking about the banks because a lot of government workers are not, they're not going to pay their mortgage, and banks are not getting their money from the mortgage, so they're trying to go to the government to say, hey, listen, we need some money because these people are not paying their mortgages or their rent, and things like that. And the government's like, hey, we're shut down. So banks are getting confused and trying to wonder how are they getting money, because these mortgages are we all know it's not backed on anything. It's just backed on mortgages or paper money that that you can just make, and so it's really weird. It's like this cyclical thing that banks are going to governments. Governments are saying, hey, we can't help you, and people are not paying the bank because they can't afford to pay, for food, for for medical insurance. So this is a very interesting time, especially November 1st. That's when it's going to happen, where they're going to see, banks going to see, hey, you know what? We're not getting what we're supposed to be getting. So how now, brown cow?
Nice rhyming. I like that. So Scott, you have to rhyme something, unfortunately.
Okay.
I hate to bring that in now, but that's the game that we're playing. So, I mean, what is your take on this, Scott? I mean, do you get a sense from anybody that anyone's affected who's not already been directly affected? Because yes, SNAP benefits starting tomorrow, November 1st, are going to stop. Head Start, which helps, parents and children, also going to run out of funding, at least temporarily. And then ACA for millions of people, tomorrow's the open enrollment. So I think people are finally going to start seeing things tomorrow and go like, what is going on here? But who do they blame?
Yeah, well, I haven't directly been affected. I mean, I did fly internationally and I didn't notice any delays there. But the thing is, the real underlying thing here, I think, is that the Republicans love this. This is one of the tenets of Project 2025. Shut the government down. They've been shutting the government down since Trump was inaugurated. That's their goal. So they love this. That's why, as Tara said, they're not negotiating. This is the most absent Congress in history. And yes, there are probably some Republican senators who would vote to extend the ACA subsidies, but they're just so afraid of the dictator that they don't want to budge on that. So they are furloughing work. They're firing workers. They're trying to do that. That's going on. We don't even know about the extent of it. And as you said, starting tomorrow, the cruelty, and that's a word that I think sums up this administration, the utter cruelty of what they're doing with SNAP, which, by the way, they cut $187 billion from in the reconciliation bill in July. They love to see SNAP go away. Some Republican congressman said, yeah, they're all smoking crack, these people on SNAP. 4,200 a year. Wow, that's plenty. Yeah. So it's $11 a day for family of four to share. So this feeds into it. I don't know. I hope Democrats are getting the message across better that now everybody's noticing with the ACA that there's subsidies, and I see people posting the last couple of weeks. They already know, as Tara said, tripling. So it's affecting people. And the sickest thing, too, is that the SNAP thing in particular, there's a reserve fund directly for this purpose. It's an emergency fund. And no, it's not really an emergency. Yeah, I would think it being no money is an emergency. And as we speak, and maybe by time, we don't, a judge is about to rule whether or not the administration has no case, by the way, because they say, well, we can't just take money. It has to go through Congress. Meanwhile, they've avoided Congress through getting rid of every agency like USAID and Voice of America and all these other agencies. They have no trouble doing that. But when it comes to starving kids, they don't care at all.
I know. I was on substance. I give you a 10, but you didn't rhyme anything. So you're
fails.
averaging a 5. I'm really
I reserve the right to revise and edit my remarks.
Reserve to rhyme
and put it in
later.
rhyme.
Okay, Scott Blakeman reserves to rhyme later. But look at Tara, the bullshit from Clay Higgins, a Republican from Louisiana, who's had outrageous stuff in the past, literally wrote down $4,000 a year. That's what he's saying that people get for SNAP. It comes out to $80 a week. And if you don't have a month's worth of food in your pantry, then you better, quote, stop smoking crack. And
Wow.
it's $80 a month for a person or a family, enough to store other food in another pantry.
As someone who has relied on SNAP benefits sporadically, I can tell you, I've never done crack in my life because you can't use your SNAP benefits to buy crack. I don't know if anybody knows that. Or alcohol.
No.
You can't. There are rules with SNAP. Clay Higgins From Louisiana, same as Mike Johnson, there are 850,000 recipients of SNAP benefits in Louisiana. And starting tomorrow, they're going to be very hungry. And that's Clay Higgins' fault. That's Mike Johnson's fault. And yesterday, I spent 4 hours of my day and I tweeted every single Republican representative by state. And I grouped them all together. And I was like, and so for the Louisiana one, it's Clay Higgins and Mike Johnson and what's his name? Scalise.
Beauregard
And,
the third? No, that's
yeah,
not him.
Beauregard. He didn't.
Or
Yeah, but I
someone
mean, I went through this.
Beauregard.
Anyway, if you go to my Twitter at TaraDublinRocks.com, I did all the legwork for you. I went through all the states alphabetically. I did screenshots of how much SNAP benefits cost people of that state or how many recipients. And then I tagged every Republican representative from that state. So whatever state you live in, I got you. Go to my Twitter. I spent 4 hours doing this yesterday, and not one of them responded, of course. But the facts are there. 40 million Americans are on SNAP. 40 million Americans, most of them children, will go hungry starting tomorrow, and Trump could feed them. He could be a big hero today and release those funds, but he won't because of Epstein.
So it's interesting. Wally, what was the movie with Jamie Foxx, the Tarantino movie, Django?
Yes.
So should like the Republican congressman from the South all have to dress like Don Johnson from that, where he was a plantation owner? They should be mandated to dress like that. And we call them all like Mr. Whatever, Mr. Beauregard, Mr. Whatever. So I don't know what's going to play out here, my friend. You know, Wally, at some point, even MAGA people are going to suffer with no more benefits.
Yeah,
but you think Democrats just get blamed, or Republicans just go like, it's not our fault, it's they did, even though Republicans control all of Congress?
Of course. How Republicans and MAGA people, when have they ever said, yeah, you know what, my bad, or yeah, I made a mistake? Yeah, they're going to do everything they can, to spin it, to not look at it, just so they can avoid just taking accountability for their vote and, for what they decided. And it's always a thing. What I find, like I say always, but what I find interesting is that the blue states help the red states. Mm-hmm. And the blue states are the money making states. And now that no one's really getting anything from anyone. Now these red states and MAGA, a lot of MAGA people are like, oh, wait a minute. So I'm just very curious to see. Their backs are basically going to be in the corner, and it's a matter of time when they're going to say, you know what, yeah, we messed up, because it's not even a year yet, and you can see it just happening. It's just falling apart, and so yeah, I'm just sitting back and.
Wally's just waiting for it to happen. We can see the iceberg coming, and we're doing what just happened with our friend Tara Dublin, Scott Blakeman, and Wali Collins. So speaking of more cruelty, so today is Halloween. This weekend's Halloween weekend for a lot of kids. And Governor Pritzker in Illinois asked Homeland Security, and he did it very respectfully and very nicely at a press conference, saying, "I'm asking for basic human decency and the idea of could you not do enforcement during the Halloween weekend so children aren't terrorized?" And Kristi Noem, DHS Secretary, responded, "No, we're going to be out in the streets in full force and increase our activities." Tara, what costume will Kristi Noem be wearing on Halloween? What do you think there?
Ice pick Barbie? Maybe she'll get more plastic surgery and come out with a new face. I'm not really sure. Kristi Noem needs a better protein.
Do you think her iPhone recognizes her?
I don't think so. I don't think so. You're talking about the woman who was run out of Portland by a guy in a chicken suit. And her only protein source these days seems to be Corey Lewandowski. So she's mad because she's hangry. Wow. Hey, bump. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitresses. Her issue is that her job is to make Trump happy by making other people scared and miserable. That they hate America. They hate Americans. They hate our freedoms. And she works for Trump. So if Trump says, go out and get me video of terrified people in Chicago, by God, she's going to get that video for him. She's going to perpetuate this because that's her job. Scaring kids, raping kids, they don't care. The pro-life party doesn't care. They can hand out candy at the White House, but not release the SNAP funds. Whatever, MAGA, whatever. Happy Halloween to all of you. Enjoy, because you're not getting a Thanksgiving.
It's
That's
going
the
to
bottom
be,
line. They don't care. It is all about the cruelty. It's like Scott was saying earlier. They just, if they can be meaner, they will. If they can make things worse, they will.
Scott, I'm going to go for you for the rhyme. Do you have your
Okay.
rhyme ready?
I
No.
had a little
So what do you
time.
think? I mean, it can't even be nice on Halloween. Like she could have said she could have said it in a nicer way. Look, we're still going to do things, but we're going to make sure we're not going to interfere with kids trick-or-treating. She said, nope, we're going to do even more activities. Like she's like the enforcer, the new sheriff in town. You might not recognize me because I just came from a clinic, but I'm Christy Nome. Like, who's
On
that
one of
woman?
her
That's
2
Christy
private
Nome.
jets.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you said, Dean, she could have said a nice way. Well, these people are incapable of saying anything in a nice way or being, because they're not nice people. Now, I've been around a long time. I've certainly been aware of Republicans over the years who were decent people who had policies I disagreed with, but
Right.
they had a sense of decency, and there's still, some out there. But these people are just, lack of a better, just bad people. They have not done one thing that helps people. The whole goal is to hurt people and enrich themselves. That's all they care about. And it's so vivid here. And what's happening in Chicago, a city I love. I went to school there. I even lived in the district where
Northwestern,
you
yeah.
interviewed I'm sorry, who's a congressional candidate
Catherine
who was
Gonzalez, who just got indicted
for
2 days ago. She was on
just
yesterday.
protesting ICE. So it's sickening. I don't think people are even aware of the extent what's happening, bashing down doors, breaking into people's homes. I mean, this is just the worst tactics. And Trump doesn't care. He just keeps saying, get the numbers up. It doesn't care. These are law-abiding people, an integral part of the community. And it's so damaging. I mean, Christine, all those people, it's like the worst of the worst. There used to be the expression, the best and the brightest. These are the worst and the dumbest and the cruelest. And I give them credit across the board. Every single person who works for Trump is that kind of person.
It's an awful group. Wally, I wanted to shift gears and talk about Zoran Mondani because we both live in or do you want to comment on the Halloween thing? Then we'll talk
Yeah,
about
because I was really excited. I was gonna go with Speedy Gonzalez, and I'm gonna scratch that
You were going to go to Speedy Gonzalez for Halloween, and then how many MAGA people are going to go as ICE agents because it makes them feel good about themselves? I'm not even
Oh
kidding.
my God.
That's
Hey, I got a question. I got a
No.
question for the panel. Do the ICE agents get paid?
Of course they do.
I have not heard that they're not being paid, so that TSA doesn't get paid because I had a TSA got a union official on last week, and TSA workers are actually taking second jobs to pay their bills because they're
I
working
have
all
two
day at
brother-in-laws
TSA.
who work with TSA, and they're not getting paid.
They're not getting paid, TSA. That's why they call. I haven't heard about ICE, not because like FBI, I believe, gets paid. So they're probably under a law enforcement umbrella, DHS, and they get paid. But it's a good question. We'll look into it. So let's just look in New York. I just saw the horrific commercial. I was at a diner because I live in New York. Is what we do. I went to a diner to get a muffin with butter. I look up. There's a commercial on WPIX, which is the New York channel. Some independent
Channel
guy
11.
running from mayor. I never heard of him. It's like not any of the big ones. It's pictures of 9/11, people jumping out of the windows, and then he says Zoran Mondani in the ad. That's what the ad. It was just literally on Channel 11 here in New York City. And that's like subtle compared to some of the stuff of Eric Adams and the super PACs funded by Bill Ackman and others. So, I mean, what have you heard? Why has it been stunning to you at all? Did you expect this? Has it been more intense than you saw? I'm not sure how much you saw in the media, how much you're seeing about the anti-Muslim bigotry, but it's been alarming to me.
Well, yeah, it's what's happening is they realize they're losing. Cuomo just surprised me getting that endorsement from Eric Adams. And I'm like, dude, oh man, you are desperate. And that just basically shows true colors right there. He's like, look, I really want this. But but I think what's happening, it's working against them because the more the racist they're being, more people are like, wait a minute, yeah, you're going a little bit too far. People are smart. They're getting it.
And that's a great point, Tara. I mean, if they had run against Zoran on just like experience, he's only 30, just turned 34 and that kind of stuff, maybe they could have made some traction. But the minute it became a referendum on bigotry, the polls that were slightly tightening have expanded. A new Fox News poll came out, 16-point lead now. He had been at 10-point. Like it expanded because New Yorkers, we get it. Like this is, so they ran strategically horrific, but they don't care. Fox News, Maria Bartiromo spouting garbage, WABC Radio, Sid Rosenberg. And it's not just one or the other, like all of them on the right, just open anti-Muslim bullshit.
I personally don't understand it, but then again, I do. And it's horrific that in this day and age, you can't take a candidate based on merit and ideas. And what
Right.
he wants to do for New York is actually really good for New York. And I've been trying to explain this to my mom, who lives in Jerry Nadler's district.
Ah,
And so I've been telling her to something that Joe Biden says, which is we our votes are seeds that we are planting now for trees that we will never sit under.
mhm.
And socialism is actually a good thing because it means we take care of each other in our communities. And it's frustrating for me as someone like I begged my mom not to vote for Eric Adams, begged. And now I'm begging her to vote for Mamdani because progression is good. Progress is good.
Yeah.
Socialism is good. Voting for a rapist is bad. Andrew
Mm.
Cuomo is a rapist. Andrew Cuomo doesn't care about the 13 women who sued him, and that a couple of them, Mamdani brought to the debate, and he's like, "What do you say to these women?" He's like,
Yes.
"I got off." Fuck that
Yeah.
guy. Fuck that guy, Mom in Manhattan. You need to vote for the future of New York City, and the future is someone who has progressive ideas about how to make the city better and
I
not
agree.
Cuomo, who's going to take you back. Not a rapist, okay? And if Mamdani was a white guy with the ideas that he has, he would be beloved. But instead, people are leaning into the acceptable xenophobia that has taken over this country, which is a blight on humanity, along with all other kinds of racism and
It-
otherisms. So
it-
I'm all for Mamdani, and I want my mom to vote for Mamdani. That's what
Vote
I'm saying.
Z. So, I mean, Scott, I mean, it's been interesting to see Hakeem Jeffries finally came around. It's meaningless, but he finally came around. Schumer is still not. Tom Suozzi, who I know, just endorsed Cuomo. And, you've got some other Democrats sitting out of the race who are Democrats in New York City. People outside of other states, they have no obligation to endorse him or not. But the ones in New York, I mean, to me, that's because anti-Muslim bigotry, like let's put it this way, even if they're not an anti-Muslim bigot, they know there's no downside to not endorsing a Muslim candidate. But if it was say that was the first Jewish nominee for mayor ever, people be like, you're not endorsing the person because you're an anti-Semite. And that'd probably be a legitimate thing to say. But here we don't have people saying like to them, why are you coddling the anti-Semite, the anti-Muslim bigots by not endorsing Zoran?
Well, this is very personal, and Dean and I, we did the Stand Up for Peace show for almost 20 years. We went to
Very
college
successful.
campuses, yeah, Jewish and Muslim audiences, and we said for all those years, about the Middle East and just bringing people together. It is disgusting and shameful on so many levels. But I'm just happy to have the chance to voice. I'm a Jew for Zoran. I have a lot of friends, maybe in quotes now. Some people have not friendly with me or talking to me. And, as you said, Dean, you could say, well, I don't agree with this policy or that. Zoran won the Democratic primary by a margin unprecedented in politics. And the thought that a Chuck Schumer, who is the Senate minority leader, has not endorsed the Democratic candidate is just shameful and disgusting. And it's shameful and disgusting what I've read, still on Facebook just to torture myself, people using just anti-Muslim. I mean, and this whole fear they're using under the guise of fearing anti-Semitism, they're being Islamophobic. And I have friends and I care about these people, but oh, I don't think he's anti-Semitic, but what he says about Israel is going to put Jews in danger. And even worse, this group of 1,000 rabbis, many of them will call themselves liberal in quotes. I'm doing the quotes even though we're on
I
the
see. The
radio.
radio, yes.
And even from like Temple Manuel, all these liberal institutions, they said they put out a statement. It's one thing privately vote whoever you want. Put out a statement saying Zoran Mamdani is dangerous. His views on Israel makes him dangerous. So they put this out. Many of the rabbis don't even live in New York, as many of the people weighing in. What's dangerous is not Zoran Mamdani. I saw that 9-minute speech of his. It was so inspiring and touching. It's like Obama's speech back in 2008 about racism. And he didn't have to make that speech. And maybe some of his advisors said, you don't need to talk about that. You're in the lead. And it was so moving. And it shows how far we have to go. And as you said, Dean, if anti-Muslim bigotry is still
Sure.
accepted and in the halls of Congress and everywhere else. And other religions have gone through this in the past, but this is where we're at. And so I'm proud. I'm going to be for the first time in my life canvassing for Mamdani in my own small way. And it really is, as Tara said, this is very important for the future. And by the way, I may meet people, oh, that no King's rallies, hate Trump. Oh, yeah, well, at least we have Mamdani. And they go, oh, no, I'm voting for Cuomo. Okay, here's the deal. If you're voting for Cuomo or Mamdani, you're not a progressive. You're not a liberal. Slee was a Republican. Cuomo sided with Republicans during his whole time. I mean, he's not, so you're not a Republican. Vote for him if you want, but you're not a liberal. You're not a progressive. Don't pull that. And for rabbis, even some from J Street, which is a sort of supposedly a pro-peace, pro-Israel organization, coming out and saying Zamdani is dangerous is just shameful. So I'm Jewish. I'm proud. I support. And we can't. You can tell how desperate they are. Like Wali said, they just keep quoting the Post. So when the New York Post is your go-to guide, you're pretty desperate.
Right.
It's not anti-Semitic to criticize the government of Israel.
Absolutely.
It's anti-Semitic to blame Jews for everything.
And actually,
also, wasn't he like 8 or 9 on 9/11? So everyone needs to not blame him for that.
And by the way, not only is it an anti-Semitic criticism of Israel, the government of Israel does not represent me or Jewish values or even the values of Israelis. So I think, as Zoran said in his speech, as he's coming out of the shadows, into the light, I think it's important for me and other Jewish Americans, as they are, 40% support Zoran at least, and agree with his views on Israel and that it is a genocide in Gaza. So I'm going to try to do my best to come out of the light more, and maybe I'll have some temple gigs canceled, but
Wali has it because Wali, first of all, tell them how Sharia law is going to be great right off the bat. Can we start with that?
You're going
to love Sharia. Me and Wali are going to give everyone primers. Our special shows will be Sharia compliant comedy shows from now on in New York. So no, go ahead, Wali.
And we're going to pray at least 5 times.
And I joke about no more BLTs, just LTs, folks. That's it. Sorry, buddy. Taxi driver, just LT. It's better for you. You're going to live longer.
What it is, and this is the problem I have with Democrat Republicans. Either you can't be all of one thing. If you want to see change, you're going to be a little bit, you're going to lean right. You're going to lean left. You have to, and I think Schumer and Jeffries, they're afraid of change, and that's why I'm so for term limits, because, the times change, views change, science proves things that the world is not flat. It's not. Right. But if you're comfortable, how things are, no, you're not going to want things to change, to be different, and that's what's happening. And like when you watch Cuomo, all he's not using any kind of intellect, any kind of policy, whatever. He's just going after people's fears, and that's what worked before. But Madani's like.
Not doing it now. Rama Yusuf, I went to see him Wednesday. He was performing at Town Hall, and he was working on new material at Town Hall because that's how big he is now. He sold out, and he's billed it as new material night. But he had a good joke about Mamdani, who he says Zoran says cutting things about Cuomo, but then he smiles afterwards. And everyone's like, "What a nice guy!" And he can actually do a good impression of the smile. It was like really funny stuff. So let's take a break. We're gonna come back, talk about the word of the year, which is a little early in the year to give it. Usually it's like December, but dictionary.com has come out with the word of the year. And also Kennedy Center. Trump said he's going to make it hot. What have we seen in the first 9 months? We'll come right back after this break and break those both down. And welcome back. And we're continuing what just happened. Halloween edition here with Tara Scott and my friend Wali. So we'll do the word of the year in a second. But first, Kennedy Center. Trump promises it's going to be hot. Richard Grenell, who he appointed to take over, said no more woke programming, no more woke shows. I mean, it's like every musical's woke, everything fun is woke. I mean, what are you kidding me? So now we have numbers. Washington Post reporting today just came out. Since September, they've only 43% of tickets have been unsold for a typical production. Only 57% have been sold. And for comparison, in 2024, 93% of tickets were sold. So with last year, when it was a woke shows, musicals, and fun things. Everyone was woke, was 93%. Now we've got MAGA, the MAGA experience, like Scott Baio doing a Shakespeare reading, and, John Kid
saw that.
Rock sings the blues, whatever, 57%. So so Tara, let's go to you. I mean, I didn't know what was going to be an impact, but now that it's quantified, these are real numbers 10 months in. People are not and donors are pulling their money back. And some people saying, we're not going to go until Trump's gone. That's it. He might demolish it. I'm worried. He'll demolish this
no.
too.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, he's an ingrate. And as Rick Wilson famously said, everything Trump touches dies. So, and he deliberately wants to ruin anything that makes people happy. Also, people just need to stop saying woke, because to me, it sounds like if you're still saying what's up, it's like dated and old and like done.
Right.
And stop it already. And find, Rick Grinnell, really? Tiffany Trump is what happens when Rick Grinnell is your only gay friend. So if Rick Grinnell is choosing your musicals, what musical are you doing? What are they going to do? Oklahoma over and over? Because that's a red state. I don't know. But what I do know is
Oklahoma. They're never doing Rent.
Right? No, because Trump wouldn't rent to black people in Harlem in the 70s.
Tariff the musical. Tariff the musical can be big.
If he can ruin things people love, he will do that. So that's the point.
Wally, have you performed at the Kennedy Center ever before? Like, have you ever been in shows there?
No, I haven't yet. But
yeah, but would you go now or no? So I mean, what do you think? Woke is not like, for the idea, like if you were gonna take over like in Nashville, the Grand Ole Opry or something like that.
I played there, actually.
You performed there?
Yes.
Oh wow, I don't even know. So, but I'm saying, like, if you did this in a red state and a deep red area, and you're like, no more woke programming, maybe people are going to come. But that DC, it's a sophisticated audience. It's a really great theater audience, great stand-up audience. I love performing there. And the people are sophisticated about it. They're like, I'm not going to spend money where Trump's pictures, when you walk in, they were showing in Washington Post, his pictures like Saddam Hussein. Like, right. It's like a Saddam Hussein art center, but it's Trump. So, I mean, well, are you surprised that people are not going? And I wonder what he does to change this.
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think that's the whole point of performance. It's people expressing what they feel, what's on their mind, to provoke change, to provoke thought. That's the definition of art, And once again, he doesn't want things to change. He wants things to stay the same, and also the whole definition of woke, it really bothers me because it's, once white folks got it, they made it into something that really wasn't the whole point. Woke started when Black Vietnam vets were coming back to America, telling fellow brothers, stay woke, stay awake, stay aware, don't sleep on this, brother. Be diligent in what you do. Stay awake, stay woke. And so for some reason, somehow, white folks got that and changed it into this thing that everybody hates. But if you really understand the basics of it, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. But once again, white folks take what we do and just make it there.
Ruin it.
Scott, yep. So what do you think? I mean, have you ever performed at the Kennedy Center?
I know. I love to at some point in the future when he's not around there. I've experience with low turnout, but that's another issue. But I will say,
very exciting. 57% would be good for us.
Yeah.
You know what you're saying.
Like, Grinnell talking about woke pro. Again, I hate that. And Wally's exactly right about where the word comes from. And also it evolved into something that woke just means caring about social justice, be aware of, social justice, helping people, woke and DEI and all that. It's a code word for they're racist. And that's what it's all about. And people need to say that more often, because it's not DEI. They're taking hundreds of millions from universities, because they hire a black person. Barry Weiss at CBS just fired, 8 women, and so it's not, diversity, equity, inclusion is a great thing. The real definition of woke is a great thing, and we need to say that. And so they've hijacked it. But again, Richard Grinnell knows nothing about booking anything. I'm not sure what he knows about. Trump certainly doesn't know about, as Tara said, anything successful. Everything he's done has been a failure, certainly in Atlantic City and all that. You need real professionals, and the Kennedy Center is a vital service. And as Dean said, Washingtonians, I think, a part of it too. They don't want to go to anything that's has a giant, picture of a dictator in the lobby. So I don't know what they'll do, but I worry about it because you say donors are pulling back, and we need look, this isn't the only thing. They're going after museums and cultural institutions, playbook, the Viktor Orban playbook. So we need to really be vigilant about all of that.
And during the shutdown, Smithsonian's been closed now.
Yeah.
They stayed open for the first week and they've been shut down. And the idea of shutting down a national museum for some of the Trumpers, this might be great. I mean, they have their agenda. Like, how dare you? We'll teach you everything about the history and everything. So look, I want to talk about dictionary.com came out with a word of the year. And this time it's not even a word. And it's 6-7. 6-7, the number 6-7. It comes from a song. It's become a viral meme. I only learned about it because V Sphere, who was on my show, was very popular on the internet, said that like cousins and nephews are bringing up this. I'm like, what are you talking about? And like 6-7, I was saying 6-7, 6-7. And this was like a month ago. And then I saw some news story about it. And then I Googled it. I still don't understand it. But it's like, apparently it's huge. How many of you know what 6-7 was before? So everyone, Scott didn't.
No.
I don't know because V was on the show. I would not have known it.
Yeah.
But Wally, how did you learn? Where did you first hear 6-7?
When did I first hear it? I think
Like it's used by, I mean, it's from a song, at least ostensibly.
well, actually, it's from a song. But what made it go big was a kid was making a video and he watched a basketball game and a certain play happened and the shot went back to him. He goes, and he quoted from the rap song 6. He goes, 6-7. So that video kind of people are like, people lashed on that. And so they're like, oh, that's pretty funny. So the fun part about 6-7 is that you're making fun of people that don't know. It doesn't mean anything.
I know, that's what's remarkable.
Yeah, it means nothing at all. But what makes it so big and fun is that you act like you know what it means. When people are freaking, what does that mean? You're like, we got you. So it's just, that's the fun part about
and
it.
they do it with the hands? Like you can do that.
You have to do the hands.
Right, because I saw something where they did a news thing where they talked to people on the street. Do you know what 6-7 is? And if someone knew it, they'd go like, I'm like, okay, I get it. I kind of think. Tara, how did you first hear about it?
Well, I have a Gen Z child. I have 2 of them actually, but I heard about it just kind of, in the ether of the internet, and I did my due diligence. But also, South Park did like a whole episode about it last week.
Oh, they did.
They did, and it's awesome. It's hilarious. I mean, they are killing it so much. But you have to go 6-7. You have to do the hands and like that, and because it means nothing. And I checked in with my son and I'm like, is this the new Skibbity? He said, yes. And so that's what it is. It means nothing, which means it probably won't have a very long life. But for the time that it's lasting, just enjoy it because it's stupid and it's silly. And we all deserve stupid and silly. So go ahead. And try to get people to say 6-7 so you can go 6-7.
I think it's
That's a part of it too. You have to make someone say 6-7 so that you can go 6-7.
Oh, so it's not like I can't just go around going 6-7.
No. It has to be. You have to prompt it. So like, so it's like what number comes between 5 and 8, and someone goes 6-7, and then you go 6-7.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
It's so dumb and awesome. Because
dictionary.com actually defines it as a form of brain rot. That's what they use. It says it's slang which is slang. Brain rot itself is a term. Dictionary.com defines that as slang for a subgenre of mindless, meaningless, extremely online content. So it really is like nothing. It's like before Seinfeld, like it's like Seinfeld was for nothing. This is something, but kids are having fun doing it. And it's not even like the videos I saw are just like kids doing 6-7. So Scott, now that you know what it means, are you going to start using it?
Constantly. This conversation is making me feel so much older. I thought I'm like 30 something. I get all the references now. But I agree with that. It's a great thing. I'm glad it's sort of almost, it's ironic too, because it's sort of, even the expression is about nothing. And so I think that there's people having fun with it. But look, I'm still trying to figure out what crypto is. So I'm so far behind. And I never want to know.
6-7. Yeah.
There's certain things I said, I don't want to know. I don't know. I never can understand. I can't even understand what an investment banker is still. So what do you exactly do? They tell me it just goes out one.
Make money.
So I just certain things
like
I say I'm never going to know.
Right. Tara, earlier you said, what's up or whatever, right? That kind of thing. Remember, Wally, DC Benny was in a commercial years ago where he did he do like a what's up or something? He was in one of these things that before we use the term
Oh,
meme,
yeah.
but it was in a commercial and it was like,
For a beer, I think.
right, it was for a beer and there was some expression. Maybe it wasn't what's up, but it was something like that. But I guess we go through these through time, but now we have a thing called a meme, and it's online as opposed to like from a commercial or from a movie. Because I was younger, they'd be a meme, but we didn't know the term meme. People just quote something from like Caddyshack or
Right.
Stripes or whatever it might be, like comedy movies from my time. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, we to get through life, we need something silly, and every 24 months something new comes out, and sometimes they hit deeper or they affect more people. But yeah, wait another what we got 18, let me like another 12 months, and something new is gonna come out. 7, 8.
7, 9, 10. This is going to be gone. I mean, right. This is going to be gone very quickly. And there's so many flash in the pan things. I just thought it was interesting that it made it from my friend V saying it to watching a video online with a newscaster to now dictionary.com. And by December, it probably won't even be used.
Yeah.
But speaking of not being used, so Prince Andrew can't use his name anymore.
Ooh,
You guys,
segue.
boom, thank you.
Ooh.
That's why I'm here.
That's a radio segue right there.
Buckingham Palace announced Prince Andrew will lose his prince title and will be leaving his Royal Lodge home in Windsor. I mean, he got evicted from the Royal Lodge. That's gotta suck. What time's checkout time? He's gone, and from now on he'll be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. And I know Mountbatten name from watching The Crown. That was like a family name. And he's give up his royal. So this is remarkable, and it's because of the Epstein, the new book by Virginia Giuffre, or who passed away. She committed suicide, sadly enough. One of the victims, and who was pictured with Prince Andrew, and in her book goes into more detail, and it's undeniable. I guess it's undeniable for everyone but Trump. So this guy's going to lose his titles. Trump's still in the White House. We don't know what he did, but I got to be honest. Like, I'd love to be called Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. That would I don't need to be Prince. I'd like to just be, please refer to me as Dean Mountbatten Windsor. Something like, there's got to be a cool name. So Tara, what do you think? This is actually some kind of accountability for the prince?
It obviously is accountability, and it's nice to see any accountability around the Epstein files. I mean, the Brits do everything better. Well, everyone does everything better than we do. But if he's losing his title, I think Trump should lose his as well as his personal freedom, and everyone connected to him. I'm absolutely an advocate for Article 2, Section 4, because not only is Trump in the Epstein files, and not only should Trump be stripped of all of the things that are attached to him, but everybody who has enabled him, every single person should go along with him. So he should suffer the same consequences because he did what Andrew did and worse, because he's also manipulated and lied, and he's holding the government hostage because he did what Andrew did.
I heard Andrew, it's even worse. They stripped him of everything. Now he's going to be called Andy.
They used to call him Randy Andy. They used to call him Randy Andy.
That would be funny. And they give him, and we're taking your accent away. Now you're going to speak like an American. It's like,
Yes.
What? Now you have to say, it's like, oh no, I can't.
That's the worst punishment of all.
Yeah, but it's interesting that we just joked about 6, 7. The staying power is 10 minutes, right? The Epstein files have stayed with us now for years, and it's heating up like it's not going away. The minute Congress comes back and they swear in Adelita Grijalva, they'll have 218 votes for the discharge petition, and we're going to all be talking about it again. And just yesterday, a letter was sent by the family of victims, I think, about the same. So that's funny. Like, that has staying power. I mean, Wally, you think that has staying power because it's sex and powerful people, so it's celebrity intersex, or why do you think that has staying power?
Because it's involving everybody, Republicans, Democrats,
Right.
celebrities, everybody. And I mean, it's so big. It's so, it has so much weight. A lot of people are involved. So people who have money are doing what they can. Some are leaving, the country. Ellen DeGeneres. So yeah, it's really it's something very, 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 very big. And they're doing everything they can just to suppress it. And sooner or later, it's gonna, we're gonna.
So what do you think, Scott? Epstein file, do you think it's not going to go Anytime I thought it was going to go away, this is not going away.
Oh.
And I don't know how it goes away. I honestly don't know.
Now, by the way, the Daily Mirror in London had a great headline: Andrew, formerly known as Prince. As you say, they always have the great headlines there.
Well done indeed.
Rapist,
Well
formerly known
played.
as Prince.
Yeah. And again, I echo what Tara said. I mean, they're, and the statement was very clear that they said our sympathies are with the survivors or the victims of sexual abuse. They were very blunt about it, which is great. I think it's going to keep sticking around because, the MAGA people, they were so angry when Pam Bondi lied about, not having it or whatever. And then, what's his name? Dan Bongiorno, the number 2 guy, right-wing podcaster, number 2 at the FBI. That's a career path. They were yelling at each other. So the MAGA people think, oh, it's Bill Clinton. It's those people. But Democrats know it's Trump and who knows who else. So, and it's more fun to talk about than tariffs probably. So
Everybody gets it.
definitely going to
You're
stick
right.
around,
Everybody gets
and
it.
it's gonna come out. I mean, there's no way these things don't, and it will, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see. All right. Before we run out of time, I wanted to give everyone a chance to plug their stuff. So I'll start with you, Tara. Then we're going to go to Wally next second.
Sure, you don't want to start with Wally? Okay.
Yeah.
I am
could.
Tara Dublin Rocks across the social medias. Tara Dublin Rocks #1 on Instagram. I'm on the YouTubes and all of those. Also, please sign up for my Substack and buy my book, The Sound of Settling, A Rock and Roll Love Story, at taradublinrocks.com. Also, next Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be sitting in for John Fugelsang right here on SiriusXM Progress. So I hope everybody tunes in.
I got to remember that so I can say, because I always throw to John. I say, come
You
in
can
next
be a
John
guest
Fugelsang.
if you want.
I'll say like, I go to sleep right after my show. But anyway, I'm going to coming up, Tara Dublin. So Wally, what about you, my friend? Where can people follow your great stuff?
I got nothing. Next. No.
That's it. Pass. That's it.
Well, you got to check out my channel, Wait What with Wally on YouTube. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. I've been traveling. I'm doing cruises.
Oh yeah. You mentioned that last time.
Yeah. So I'll be on MSC cruise ship. I leave from Miami tomorrow. So if you're going to be on the MSC cruise ship, I'll leave out Miami November 1st. I guess I'll see you on that ship.
Say hi to Wally. That's great. People listen to my show. They all go on cruises. Everyone who listens to this channel. I'm first kidding.
Oh,
Scotty,
good to know. And
maybe they
Wali
do.
Collins across
I'm
the
sure
board,
some do.
TikTok, Instagram. What'd you say?
I'm sure some people who listen actually go on cruises. So I hope they go on that cruise
That'd be
and
cool.
see you. That'd be great.
Cool.
And Scott, what about you? Where can people follow your stuff?
Well, Scott Blakeman 5 on Instagram, and November 15th I'll be at Temple Bethel in East Windsor, New Jersey, and November 22nd at Temple Beth Abraham in Tarrytown, New York. And unless they listen to this
show,
episode, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll be there and Getting Through This with Tom and Scott podcast.
All right, all three
Yeah.
were great. Thanks so much for being on.